They want us to dance.
I'll let you do the initial dance.
Want a bit of this? It's not a Sunday show.
Do you not think that a couple of 40-year-olds, well, beyond 40-year-olds now,
mid 40-year-olds,
do you think that dancing is an acceptable thing in this modern world?
Do you feel like it's acceptable when you go out for a night out and you cut a few shapes on the old dance floor, bit of freestyling? Do you think that's acceptable? Because you do that at times.
Well, I've been known
You've been known to dabble, haven't you?
Yeah, but I would say it's like you're in the dark. I generally do it in the dark corner.
You've cleared many a dance floor in your time.
I have cleared many dance floors. Well, come on then, let's see it.
I'm not doing it on my own. I don't think it's fair. Like, it's your channel.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get into this video and then we'll, maybe at the end, I'll put it in.
Right,
and
got
then
it.
I'll cut it into here.
That's fair enough.
Then it'd be worth, you know. It'll give me time to think about it, put it that way.
Yeah.
You know? Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to a Sunday morning show. Good morning, Bernie.
Morning, Dan. Morning, everybody.
Well, you've convinced me once again that the retro Sunday show is definitely the way forward.
I'll be honest with you, I miss the little chat. Not just, I mean, we chat regularly, more or less every day, but it's nice to chat in front of people and to continue our chat further, I think. And people seem to like it and enjoy it. So while they're watching videos, I feel like we should continue the trend. We're trendsetters.
And the thing with it is, and as you're saying all this, the thing that I'm thinking about most is that the conversation we've just had off camera is that there is not enough time in the day. I think everyone will agree with that. There is not enough time in the day, and yesterday was a prime example for me. But this is like, I feel like this is killing two birds with one stone, because not only will we be able to create content, but we can have our general weekly catch up in front of the camera done, and then there's two birds done.
So it's saving time saving.
Time saving.
Energy efficient.
Which in the modern world of sustainability and everything that goes along with that, I think that's a good move.
I mean, it's
like that?
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. I guess years ago, people used to work six days a week, didn't they? Or even my dad was like nearly 7 days a week, quite a lot of the time. He'd have the odd finish work early, but generally with his job, and I think that was, I mean, your dad would have been the same, out fishing and like gone for days, maybe.
Yeah. 7 day trips.
7 day trips, and it's just
10 day trips.
We have more leisure time now, so trying to ram, we're almost like trying to do 7 days work in like 5 days. So you try and spend the weekend with your family and a bit of leisure time, and it's just, just the time goes so quick, doesn't it? And just
everything's so, even like today when I'm filling up the van, pay at the pump. Everything is done. Like I thought to myself as I was filling up the van, I was thinking, like, if I don't walk in and pay for this, I don't get my steps in.
No.
That's number one. So I'm not walking as much. And actually, what is the point in having it at pay at the pump, or when I've just been over to the States, which we'll get onto in a minute, but drive through. Everything's a drive through.
Yeah.
If you want to go and put money in the bank, or get money out of the bank.
It's all online now,
you can drive through and do that.
You're
right, it's
both
online.
the banks I bank with don't even have you can't actually go and physically speak to anybody anymore. There's no headquarters, it's all online and phone calls. It's the modern world. Talking about paying for petrol at the pump, I ever told you about when I drove off and forgot to pay? I haven't told you that story. No.
I've not heard your one, but I've got a funny one as well.
So it's in the Esso garage in Brixham years ago.
Yeah.
Went in there and it was pay at the pump, and I thought I'd pushed pay at the pump, and I thought I'd done the thing, but someone started chatting to me across the pumps. I can't remember who it was, but I was chatting away, I filled up, put it in, like finished it all off, done, and I thought, I just didn't think, got in the car, see you later, got in the car and drove off. So got back to my mum and dad's house when I was living there, and then about 45 minutes later, the police turned up.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, like, excuse me, you've driven off without paying. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So
wow.
But they were like, fine. They found it more funny than anything, because I knew the policeman that came round, I knew him. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And he was like, we saw you talking, because they can see the CCTV.
Yeah.
But we've just got, can you go down and pay? So I literally just drive back down and pay. So,
that's funny, isn't it? And to be fair, living in a town like Brixham, you could probably get away with that a little bit. I think if you were doing that in the middle of London, you'd been in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
funnily enough, that happened exactly the same to my old man. Same thing. He's like me. He gets not that he was talking to anyone, but once he starts thinking, and I tell this to Laura all the time, don't ask me to do more than one thing, all right? Because when my mind is set of doing that one thing, I'm not in the, everything else is not in my vision.
Yeah.
And my old man was the same. He was probably thinking about something, probably fishing, and he's filled his car up, got in the car and driven off. Police turned up about a few hours later or whatever, just to say, get yourself back down and pay for that, will you, please?
Funny, isn't it?
Well, I mean, the golf world right now, Bernie, because ultimately this is what this channel is all about. We talk about golf, and
Do we?
occasionally we talk about a bit of golf. But the golf world is, I mean, I think we've been talking about the golf world changing now for 2-3 years. 2 years, definitely.
Yeah. It seems to have accelerated in the last month, doesn't it?
Well,
more, don't you think? Like things are starting to, maybe all the planning that's been going into the last 2-3 years is sort of coming to the head right now. Like there seems to be a lot going on in golf.
Well, I mean, I read a tweet. Was it a tweet or an Instagram little post or something like that? It was a sports channel or whatever. They said, you know, you can watch now your favourite YouTubers, okay? And it was a picture, to be fair, it was a picture of the Bryan brothers.
Yeah.
But you can watch your favourite YouTubers and be entertained and have some quality golf being played and a match going on. You can have all of that in 40 minutes.
It's just lucky that most of your subscribers aren't bothered about that, entertaining and good golf.
Well, there is that. And this is probably why they picked the Bryan brothers, because they are probably the pinnacle of what we see. But, you know, you can have all of that in 40 minutes. Unfortunately, hours go on for about an hour and a half because we're chatting too much. But for 40 minutes to an hour and a half, you can have everything you kind of want. So that's...
Again, saving time, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's all condensed down, isn't it?
People haven't got...
Yeah.
But, however, to watch the PGA Tour, it's 400 minutes.
Yeah.
To watch people thrash it out around Torrey Pines or wherever they were.
Yeah, and also you probably... There's golfers that you won't be particularly... One, you might not know, and two, you might not be that fond of them. You don't really want... You don't want to watch a certain player play. You might want to focus on... Like the old Tiger Woods thing, wasn't it? I know when he plays a tournament, they just literally the cameras are on him.
Yeah.
Which someone who's been brought up on Woods and that magical aura that surrounds him, still for me, still there, even though he's beatable now and he's not where he was. But I want to watch him for 4 hours, and you get that. Like I like Bryson, so I go on his channel quite regularly now and watch what he's up to, and so I mean it's again saving time, isn't it? And who has time to sit through, unless it's in the background, you got time to sit through 400 minutes of golf coverage?
I never have and probably never will. So, but what it kind of shows is that they you know, and they're trying to create these fast-paced golf type of events on TV. Yeah. You know, the TGL thing with Tiger and setting all that up down in Florida. Interestingly, just some feedback on that, and I was going to drive down and watch that.
Yeah, you didn't make it, did you?
I didn't go because there was something else. There was another event that I really wanted to attend in Orlando, so I couldn't justify kind of going and down and doing it. But Dan Parker did. Now, Dan Parker he works alongside.
Tickets were already available then?
Yeah. I could have bought tickets for like...
I thought it'd be sold out, stuff like that.
No, about $180, something like that.
Not bad then.
I mean, for 2 hours.
What, 150 quid, 160 quid?
But Dan Parker from Golf Monthly works alongside Joe Ferguson on the Kickpoint podcast. Yeah. He was over there. He went down and watched it, and he said he was really, really impressed with how the setup was.
Yeah, it looked impressive, the set and the stadium, I guess. Yeah.
No atmosphere.
Really?
Zero atmosphere in the actual event itself. To the point where I think Justin Thomas and somebody else, I don't know who it was, but Justin Thomas and maybe Max Homer was it, I think. Yeah. They had $100 bet going on something, and the audience had no idea because you're not hearing the mic'd up, you're not hearing their chat on the mic. Right, okay. All you're doing is watching, and so I was like, really?
You'd think they'd have that on, wouldn't you? The audio.
No atmosphere.
That's. I mean, because for me, I don't know what people think at home, but part of going to
A live event.
Is the atmosphere that you can't create at home.
Correct.
Like I go and watch. I'm going to watch West Ham in March. I know the stadium is not great for atmosphere, whatever. But if you go to like a Premier League football ground, the atmosphere, the singing, the chanting, the noise, that's part of the experience.
100%.
And that's why, that's for me, that's the main draw of going to watch live event. Like we've been to watch things like Speedway, which was a brilliant atmosphere,
fantastic.
the noise, the smell, the crowd. I mean, there were quite a lot of people when we went who weren't like fans of that particular sport, but were going for the experience. And if there's no experience, or there's not a good experience and no atmosphere, then you'd have to be a proper fanboy to go and actually enjoy that actual event, wouldn't you? I mean, that's
100%.
I expected it to be like loud, noisy music.
Yeah.
You know, a bit.
I think there was a lot of music. A bit like there was a lot of music, and I think there was the atmosphere on that side of it.
Yeah.
But I think when it came to the actual, you want to hear them chatting and bantering with each other. You're not hearing that.
That's part of it. You've got to hear that. Haven't
Correct.
you?
And to be honest, you know, they need to just take a leaf out of the book of YouTube and how the YouTube creators have created what they've got, because, you know, that's what people tune into. You know, our vlog this week at Thurleston, that's what people tune in for, not just to watch us play. All right, in this particular vlog, we all played decent golf, but they want the niggles. They want you to be called the woodpecker and chipping away at Paul and doing all those sorts of things that kind of goes on. That's part of it. And I think the other thing to that is, you know, you talk about people following a journey. People come up to you and I and they just say, oh, hi Lester, hi Dan, or whatever. And then they kind of step themselves back and they go, oh, hang on. They don't actually know who I am, okay?
Yeah.
Because what they do is they go, oh, I see you all the time on YouTube or whatever, and I feel like I know you because you're there. So they get an understanding of who we are, our personal lives to a point, but you're not getting that same effect with a tour player.
No.
Because you don't know. So when you see a tour player,
that's the USP of things like this, though, isn't it? Exactly.
Because you're in awe of those guys who are on the top of the pedestal when it comes to golf, but you don't know McIlroy's lifestyle.
I would
and
say
everything
that
else.
your channel, one of the USPs of it, we've been involved with Mark's channel and we've seen other channels and stuff. You know, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's how they do it. But Mark wouldn't share any of his. It was literally 100% golf, technical golf, which is great, which is brilliant if you're into that sort of stuff. But there's no personal life. I mean, I know he had his daughter on occasionally, didn't he? He was playing with his daughter. But you wouldn't know much about him, whereas I feel like when you set your channel up, it was much more personal, and you've shown like your house, you've shown bits. You've created more of I've tried to take that, I guess, another step on and make it not, I don't call mine even golf, because I wanted to include other aspects of my life and
Lifestyle,
share.
lifestyle.
Like so that people get to know your character and that you can be, people can message you and you respond and they feel like they know you, and that's how we unofficially try to do things. Yeah. And that's what you get. That's the beauty of Bryson doing YouTube. You get to learn more about his character, him hanging around with YouTube people and he's comfortable, whereas he's not in that competitive environment.
No.
It's more fun, isn't it? And that's what you want. And if you're killing that, the banter and the chat, then you haven't really got a lot else. If you might as well you've got the uniqueness of being in a stadium and how it is. But after a while, that's going to run very thin and just not going to attract the people, is it? They're going to be like,
correct.
Well, what's the point? I'll just go and watch a PGA Tour event. Yeah.
And talking about tour events, Rick, our mate Rick, a nice little picture of you two together.
Yeah. Is it there? Is it now?
Yeah, just there. He's obviously the big news is that Rick Sheils has signed with as an ambassador for Live, and I've got to say that, and I'm sure Rick will watch this because he does watch a lot of videos, but I think... Big fan
of yours, he is?
Yeah, well, we're big fans. We're big fans of each other. We respect each other's content. But I'm gonna put this out there, right? He's obviously not said this.
No, okay.
But do you remember when they they put together, the PGA Tour put together the Creators Cup?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And and it was Pete Finch was playing. A couple of the good brigade were
Was
playing.
it to qualify to play in the tournament?
No, not that one. No, not that one. They just
right.
put it on at Eastlake for them to all come and play in it. And
I don't remember that, but yeah, was that a few years ago or?
No, it was
recently,
like last year. Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah, at the Tour Championships this year,
Right, okay.
last year, October, November, whatever it was. Anyway,
yeah, okay.
Well, there was I don't know, Bob Does Sports and all these guys that are like, you know, the Bryan brothers. All these lads are involved, and Rick's name wasn't on that list.
Did the lad on the first tee do something stupid, like hit it one-handed or hit it off his knees?
Off his knees or something.
Yeah,
stupid.
oh yeah, I do remember actually. Yeah, now you mention it.
But you know that creates entertainment, and it's his following are expecting to see a bit of that. And even though I think the PGA Tour probably had no idea what they were getting themselves into with this, and it had more views than day one of that tournament. Yeah, there you go. That just showcases how good it was, basically. Yeah, but Rick wasn't there. Rick wasn't involved in that event. Wasn't asked to come and play. So.
Well, he definitely wasn't asked, or he wasn't, or he just turned it down.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't asked.
Okay.
So, with that in mind, I'm sure that would have, you know, to be brutally honest, I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get asked. You know,
because it'd be nice to turn it down. Because
it would be nice to turn it down because the flight was expensive. And
I don't fly, like so yeah.
And you don't fly.
That's probably why they didn't ask us.
That's probably why they didn't ask us. Anyway, but with Rick being the #1 golf YouTuber out there, and when I say #1, I mean from a standpoint of subscribers, he didn't get asked to play. I assume because he didn't play. Because I don't suppose he would turn that down. So therefore, you look at that and you go, well, clearly there's no avenue here with what I'm doing with the PGA Tour. I don't know where the PGA Tour are going with what they're doing. They won't give me access because the PGA Tour don't give you access. There's no way you are allowed to film. Even the good lads said, you know, it was so good to film with the DP World Tour because
that's to do with television and stuff.
Yeah. But they're so protective of their brand. Yeah. So Rick's gone. You know, it's a big shift, and it's happened really fast off the back of that. And I think that him moving over to do live and to follow that journey now with all those players, he's going to get mega views. Yeah. He's going to get mega views, and even though he's lost 20 to 30,000 subscribers, I believe, I don't know where he's at now, but it seems to be going south. But he'll get it back, and even if those hardcore subscribers fall away from Rick, he will get the views.
They can come over here because we're not doing anything.
Yeah, we can take you on. It's no problem.
We've got space for you.
We've got space. But what I'm getting at is that he will get, you know, for a video that if he does a video with Dustin Johnson, or he does a video with Phil Mickelson, or he does a video with some of the other big players within that game, or Cam Smith and things like that, he's going to get million plus views for that. He's not getting a million plus views for doing what he's been doing on his channel currently. So I think it just leads to mega opportunities.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because it's like I get from my own personal experience of being on your channel, and like I don't want to get involved. I think we should sort our country out before we interfere in anybody else's country, and I get all that. You know, don't want to get into human rights and stuff like that, and all bits and bobs like that, because it's just that's
been down that road.
It's too controversial. Not interested in talking about that. But like we've had access to live players, the players that have been signed to live through the international series and stuff like that, and the filming opportunities we've had through that has like helped build your channel and my channel. Whereas like when we tried to, even things like open qualifying filming, you had to write to the RNA. It was like the amount of red tape just to be able to film something that wasn't being filmed by any other channel. It wasn't like Sky Sports where they're filming the qualifiers, which I think they should be, but they weren't. Like how much hassle it was almost to a stage where like, if I was going there to try and film something, they would say no, and I wouldn't want to go through all that red tape just to be able to film your brother playing in that event, which was a great video. But they should be pushing people to come and film it.
Yeah, with all due respect, if you had contacted the RNA, you on your own, not with me, if you had contacted the RNA to film Paul at first stage of, or no, it was final qualifying. They would have turned you down.
Yeah, 100%.
And the only reason that I was allowed to film was because he was my brother.
Yeah.
and I'd done it previously, and managed to get away with it in some ways. I think I slipped through the net a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's because of your following or anything like that. I just think, because they wouldn't even give me media access at the Open.
Yeah.
Even though I was going to be at the Open, they wouldn't allow me to have any media access, which then stopped me from doing any content with Under Armour that week.
Yeah.
So if I'd have been given a media pass, which they were giving them out willy-nilly to all these different people, but they wouldn't let me have one, even though they were really happy with the content that we created previous year and this year.
Yeah.
Still not allowed it. So therefore, everything else gets
kicked
into touch.
doing. I mean, I came and did the camera work for you at the Open for Mizuno, and we couldn't even get in on those days. We had to beg, borrow, and steal passes to go and watch any of the Open.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we were promoting the event, wasn't we? We're helping
we need to be better
Mizuno.
organised,
No, but I mean, it's just ridiculous when you think about it.
It's a good job we know the right people in the right places, isn't it?
But you think about you just give that, and you give that how that experience was.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I understand we're like such small players in the whole thing, but ultimately you're creating content which gets watched, which helps them. But how much easier it was to film like at the International Series, like no issues whatsoever, bring whatever you want, come in, how much more welcome we were. And it's just chalk and cheese, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. So I think that Liv will be a very good...
Off the planet with that.
No, I get, what you're trying to say is that there's massive restrictions with some RNA, DP World and PGA Tour.
Yeah.
There's not as big a restrictions with the Liv. They're very open for people to come and do the filming and mess about with it. That might change slightly now that Fox are involved, because I know they've signed a big TV contract with Fox. I don't know whether that's TV or online. I don't know yet.
No.
Whether that changes, don't know. But it seems like they get it, and having Rick on board, biggest YouTuber, I think is a no-brainer. I think the players will massively get behind it because they get it.
Yeah.
And I think from a content point of view, it's a win for him. Absolute win for him.
I think the lads on that tour understand the importance of the brand. I know that's a bit of a thing, a bit of a cliche, the brand, and selling themselves, selling their teams, selling the whole thing. You know, like Jason Cochran, who you played with. Cochran, yeah. Who we spent the day with. I mean, he couldn't have been any nicer, any friendlier, any more helpful. His caddy was brilliant. Like, the experience all I was doing was holding the camera. Like, I'm a nobody. I wasn't involved.
You're a videographer then.
But I mean, he was like as nice to me as he didn't have to be. I mean, I know he was entertaining you and the other two players in the team, but him and his caddy were absolutely like brilliant. Nothing was too much trouble. It gave me. I mean, I was never a massive fan of his. Like, I didn't. But now I look at his results. I follow him.
Keep an eye on him. Yeah.
Keep an eye on him, and it was just brilliant how he was. Where, you don't. I'm not saying everyone on the PGA Tour and the DP World's the same, because they're not. But it's the whole introduction of bringing the YouTubers in, and that hopefully at one day. The PGA, the DP World Tour will sort of see what they're doing a little bit, and they are changing, aren't they, with the times, and be more open-minded about moving things on in golf, because things do need to change.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. PGA show then?
Yeah, you look like you're having a great time. Saw Al as well. That was good. Good catch up with Al.
Spent a bit of time with Alex, which was good.
She's always good. Yeah,
always good. I mean, PGA show, if I'm honest, like. For me personally, it was all about I had a few meetings. I wasn't going to go. No. I had a few meetings, and like, it's expensive. Like, I have to look at that trip and go, I hope that the meetings that I've had turn into something, because the cost of that trip for a small fry person like me is huge when it comes to my budgets for the year. So I'm hoping that the meetings that I've had will see a return of my investment of going.
Sometimes you have to speculate to accumulate,
you do.
And you never
100%.
Know who you've spoken to, who you've met, and a personal face-to-face meeting is way better than a Zoom or a phone call, isn't it?
And the modern world of Zooms and Teams calls and all that sort of stuff is just, you don't get a chance to shake someone's hand or go out for dinner with someone or have a drink with them.
Yeah.
That I think is hugely important. And so with regards to the product side of things, I've seen all the equipment. I wasn't there to look at the equipment because I've got most of it here, or it's already been here and gone back to the companies. But so I wasn't really that bothered. Some of the other products like Yonex that I've not seen for years. Bridgestone, I haven't seen them for ages. So seeing them was quite cool. I got a chance to speak to Avoda Golf, which is the company that create Bryson DeChambeau's clubs, looking at gear effect and all that. That was really interesting.
Yeah, I enjoyed that on your last week's Sunday show.
Yeah.
Actually, the guy was quite...
yeah, that's Toby. So he's based in the UK, but so they've created, even though Bryson has released, he's using a new set of golf clubs, not Avoda. They're LA Golf. So I don't know where that, but we'll get into that at some point later on down the line. But but what was cool is being able to go and look around at all the different trinkets. Let's call them trinkets.
I was going to say gimmicks. But no,
there's definitely gimmicks. Yeah. There's definitely gimmicks there. But there's lots of little things like head covers and tees and, oh my goodness, there was just loads of little things. And then launch monitors. I would say a third of that place was taken up by techie launch monitor stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's
prices are coming down.
Yeah, I was going to say it's getting more accessible, all the equipment. And 3 or 4 years ago, the thought of creating a studio, unless you're a golf professional and you're going to get seeing a return in it. And I mean, I've made it known I'm moving house. There's a garage where I'm going to be living, and there's potential by moving a few beams, etc. It's not a massive area, but potentially I could stick sort of an indoor studio. And then 3-4 years ago, you'd have been talking sort of 30 grand upwards, wouldn't you, to do it all? A decent minimum second-hand launch monitor. But I mean, I'm looking at what it's going to cost me now, and okay, it's still a reasonable outlay, but even just to use it as a practice facility, create a few videos off the back of it, maybe do a couple of fittings, whatever. I'm probably going to get, within 18 months, 2 years, I'm going to get that money back and then have a studio all nicely done and
nice
to be able to do stuff. And it's just, I think that's the way the golf's going to go, isn't it? It's going to be, like we were saying earlier, time. I mean, it's quite nicely tying in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Time is becoming more precious. It's the most precious thing in the world, isn't it? And if you've got a facility at your house where you can go in there for half an hour and hit balls, you don't have to drive to a driving range or a golf course. You can do your 2-3 hours a week practice over. Yeah. And it's only 2 or 3 hours practice. It's not half an hour to drive to my nearest range, get the balls, pay for the balls, and you're not pay. It's just, it makes it so much easier.
100%.
So I think there's going to be more indoor studios at people's houses. Golf clubs are going to start investing, hopefully, in more indoor equipment.
Yeah. I mean, I've got friends, and you're obviously you're looking at yourself, but I've got friends who are asking me about putting stuff in their house. Yeah. Can they create a room now for 5 to 10 grand? Yeah. Even less than that. And you actually can. Yeah. You really can. So, I saw a lot more of that. My favourite product was a thing called a swing sling.
I saw you in that actually, it looks like a straight jacket, doesn't it?
So it's not the one that you're in a jacket like this. It was a
that was the Nick Faldo one with Ledbetter. Was it Ledbetter? It had Nick Faldo in.
And he was can't remember. Can't remember. But there was like all connected and something. Yeah. But I thought that was really good for someone like me who does struggle with a bit of a flying elbow, can't keep connection with pitching and things like that. So that was my favourite product, of which I'm going to do a video on that on its own.
Is that like, it's on a similar idea to the tour? Was it tour rotation stick that?
Similar. Yeah, similar.
The guy, the Welsh lad, did, didn't he?
Yeah, similar to that stuff. Yeah. I think it all kind of ties in, and then you got the ball that you keep connection.
Yeah, I've seen loads of that. But all the top coaches at the moment have got one of them. Yeah.
This one felt a little bit more connected. I felt like I really had to stay in those positions with it, so that was good.
You didn't bring one back or anything?
I've got one.
Oh, you got one?
I've got one, to do a review on. So I've got some videos to create off the back of that. So
that's good as well. A new product as well.
Absolutely. And I'll be interested to see how well they take off, should we say? Yeah. But all in all, weather was pretty bad, as I mentioned in the previous Sunday show. But weather was pretty bad. But from the show side of things, really good and lovely to catch up with the likes of Al. I spent a bit of time with James Robinson, even though he was really busy. Chris Dennis was over there. Hannah Holden was there. Pete Finch, sat down and have a coffee with Pete. It was just nice to see a lot of people. And I met a few of the American guys as well. So, that's what it was. I was going to show you, see what you think of this. So this is going on to the DHG merch shop. Yeah. Okay. See what you think of this. All right, close your eyes.
All right.
Close your eyes. Are you closed?
Yeah.
Hold your hand out. Hold your hand out. Open your eyes. You can look at that.
Looks
now.
like a clip of some sort. Oh, I love that.
What do you think of that?
That is awesome. Yeah.
What I've got here
That's come
now
out nice, isn't it?
is a little subscriber badge. It's actually basically a money clip. I know we don't use money anymore, really, but
That's why they're cheap. Got a job, a lot of them.
but yeah, I like to have these.
I think
these
you
little
could put
clips.
credit
And
cards on. I know we
you
don't
can
use
put
credit
credit cards in them, but also they're basically they can go on your belt buckle.
Yeah, I like that. That's nice.
You can clip into your golf bag, but they're just obviously the D logo with subscriber underneath.
Yeah, that's lovely. I like that. That's really good. It's good quality as well.
They're really good quality, and I'm a bit of a money clip man. So I not that I use a money clip every day, but when I go out in the evenings, I don't want to take all my cards and everything out with me.
Yeah.
So I always take a money clip with a couple of generally my ID and my credit card.
Yeah.
Not that I get ID'd very often, but you never know. And just a little bit of money if I'm still carrying money. But yeah, so I've decided to put these out there. So you like them?
Yeah, that's really good. That's really nice. It's good quality. It's nice colouring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, that's yours, Bernie. That one's
Oh,
yours.
thank you. I love that.
They come in a nice little pouch.
I better subscribe to the channel now,
Better
haven't I?
subscribe up, yeah. They come in a nice little pouch.
Oh, beautiful.
And,
Yeah, it's lovely.
I think just for like little gifts and things
Yeah.
like that. So they're going to
Yeah, I love that.
they're going to be live on the shop as we speak.
And it goes on your cup like that.
And you can keep it on your cup. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's quality. I like that.
They are quality.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they are. When I first saw them, I thought, do you know what? Let's give them a go and see if the audience actually like them. So, a little gifty for you this
Did you
morning.
do bag tags and that yet?
Well, I did the members bag tags.
Yeah, I
did the
remember
members bag tags where I gave them out to the members of the channel and things like that. But yeah, it's just a nice little touch.
Yeah, I like
think.
that. It's
So there you
brilliant.
go. And there's obviously other stuff on the show, on the merch shop as well.
Yeah.
And also just a heads up for everybody with regards to the Dan Hendriksen Golf Society. It's still growing. There's still opportunities for you guys to get out there and get, well, still opportunity. There will continuously be opportunities for you to have as much discount as we can get on all the golf courses that we've certainly vlogged.
Yeah.
Some of the golf courses, unfortunately, aren't coming on board, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. However,
it's a shame,
they will.
Yeah.
Over time, they will. But yeah, so make sure you go and check out, obviously, the shop, but also make sure you go and check out the new
Make sure you support
society.
those courses that do get involved with that particular society, because ultimately they've let us play on their golf course and film free of charge, and some of them have provided us with buggies, a couple of them have given us food and a few bits and bobs, so just go and support them as well.
As much as you can.
Yeah.
Well, have you got anything else that you want to report from your Sunday morning show?
No, just
Thelston was good.
Yeah.
Thelston went down well.
Hopefully everyone enjoyed that.
Yeah.
With the comments, and if you haven't watched it, then go and do check that video out, because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Nice to see
some
Paul
good golf,
back on the
nice
golf
bit of
course.
banter, and the main thing, seeing Paul back playing, which was good, because he had a reasonable finish somewhere as well, didn't he?
I don't know. I know he's been out in Portugal playing in the Pro-Am, which I think he was doing all right in the first couple of days, but I don't know where he's finished, to be honest with you. But
no, it's good that he was back.
Yeah, positive stuff.
Yeah.
So that is it for this week's Sunday morning show, Burns. If you've got nothing else that you'd like to report,
I think that's it, really. I don't think I can think of anything else. And just, if you want to see more of these, hit it in the comment section below, and just, tell us if you want to see them. If you don't like these and don't want to see any more, then tell us as well.
Or don't watch.
Because you do exactly what they want most of the time, don't you?
I do exactly what they ask for.
The postman, he always delivers.
Delivering, yeah. Well, don't forget, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you again. We'll see you next week.